In this video you are going to learn how to create these 3D characters inside of Blender. All of them are inspired by 3D documentary creators like Fern, Imperial, Cypher and more. So let's dive in. So the first thing that you want to do is go to the Mixamo website and go to the characters section and download this mannequin right here. Press here download, FBX format, and just in the T-pose, it's fine, and press here download. You also want to download this character that is called Leonard. Press here on download and then go to search and type Paladin and download this one that doesn't have the sword and the shield, but if you want the sword and the shield, that's fine. Just select this one and press download. The next thing that you want to do is go to the MetaTailor website. This is basically a software specialized in 3D clothing, like dressing 3D characters. So just press try for free now and go through all the downloading and the installation process. There you will see something like this. Obviously you won't see like this character right here, but you just want to press new project and give it a name, something like subscribe, confirm, and you will find something like this. The first thing that you want to do is go here to avatars and you have all these types of characters, but what you want to do is go here to import and you want to select this right here, an avatar. Go to wherever you downloaded the 3D mannequin that we saw on the Mixamo page, and yeah, you will see something like this. Don't mess with all of this. I did that, but at the end when you import the final result to Blender, it doesn't, like, I can, for example, make this red, but when I'm importing this in Blender, it's just going to look like the basic character. So go here to next step, and here this app does it great, but if you want to like fine tune all of these, for example, this nose tip could be closer, and this maybe could be closer and all of that. I'm just doing a tutorial, but if you want to go and see and optimize all of this, you can. So press here on next step. And after you pressed next step, you want to go to this icon in the bottom left and you will see the character that you just imported. Click here and change avatar. And now you can go to clothing and then you can dress your characters like this. As you can see, it's pretty fast. Not only this, then you can add like a jacket here and you can put it on top, and then I don't know, maybe some pants. Let me see, I downloaded these pants that are free actually, and if this happens it's because this works like layers, like Photoshop, so you just have to drag it below and yeah, you'll dress your character this way. Obviously I'm using a free version and there's all these assets that say like pro right here, and I'm telling you all the pro assets are way better than the free assets. So I'm just doing a tutorial, so that's why I'm just using the free assets, but if I were an editor for this kind of channels like 3D documentaries, I will for sure upgrade to Pro, clicking right here, because that way I will save a ton of hours instead of downloading the cloth or even modeling the cloth and then doing all the wave painting stuff and rigging stuff. And if you are actually good at that, then go for it. For example, I'm really bad at it. I'm not good, so I wanted to bring this solution to people like me so they can do this type of characters and dress them and do all these types of edits, and hopefully some of you make like a documentary channel or maybe work for a documentary channel. But yeah, now you know how to do it. So for example, with all the free assets, I managed to do this character right here. What you want to do is go here to export. You want to name it in some way and then choose an export path. and then just press export and I will see you in Blender. So now in Blender, in this tutorial, I'm actually going to work in cycles, just because I'm going to use some features that can only be done in cycles. I'm going to choose here experimental and GPU compute. So Blender uses your GPU to render all the stuff you make in the scene. I'm going to lower the samples for the viewport to 60, for example, and activate denoise and here optics. And for the final render, I'm going to use 100 samples and activate denoise and click here on optics. I'm doing that because I use a NVIDIA card, graphic card, so this denoiser is actually made for that. And in terms of how many samples you can use, I use 100 and it works good for me, but you want to make like a balance between the samples and the actual format here, like the resolution. If you have a 4K resolution, you can use less samples, for example 60 or 100. But if you are working on 1920 by 1080, you might have to use higher samples like 200 or even 300. So for the thumbnail of this video, I actually used standard right here and very high contrast because I want the colors to pop a lot and be super saturated. But if you want like realistic results, you can use AGX and just high contrast, and that will give you a more realistic result rather than a super saturated with a lot of colors result. So I'm going to just use standard like I did with the thumbnail, and then go here and increase the resolution to 4K, and I will leave the frame rate at 24 frames per second. And the end doesn't matter because I'm actually going to make just a static render because that's what I did for the thumbnail. I guess you saw in the intro a little animation, but chronologically I haven't made the animation yet, so I don't know how many frames did I use or whatever. Here you want to choose the output folder to export the frames of the animation or the single frame that you're going to render. Choose here PNG, RGBA, and compression down to 0. And finally we can start. So press Shift A, mesh and plane, and scale this like a lot. I think this is fine. And just give this like a dark material and just leave everything as it is. It doesn't matter actually. And for the world, I'm also going to use I'm going to lower the strength so everything in the render view is actually dark. And now I'm going to import my 3D character. In Blender 4.2 you can actually drag and drop from your assets folder. So that's what I'm going to do right here. Just import FBX and it should be good. We have this character that we made in MetaTailor, and this character is already rigged. As you can see here, you can see the bones. So we can actually pose these characters going into pose mode, and here activate fade geometry, and yeah, just select one bone and maybe activate this thing right here, and then you can rotate everything and yeah, do whatever you want. For example, I made something like this in the thumbnail, but obviously you can mess with this as much as you want. I'm just doing a tutorial, so I'm going to stop right here. And for the materials, we are going to go to the viewport shading. And here you can see that the skin is not textured as I made it in MetaTailor. And also the pants are not red and the shoes aren't red also. And some limitations for this method are these kinds of things that you get some clipping on your models, but if you know about weight painting and all the stuff, you can actually solve this. So as I already told you, this is just a method to get like okay results and make it possible to everyone like me, because I actually don't know about wave painting and rigging and all the stuff. I'm just an editor that has to complete a video in a certain deadline, so I don't have time to learn all of that, or even if I know how to make all of that, the time investment, it's not worth it in this editing scenario, for example. So yeah, you can give this character as much love as you want. For me, I'm just going to leave it as it is. So I'm going to click on the mannequin and go here to the materials, and I'm going to delete this material and make a new one. I'm going to name this metal, and yeah, I want to increase the metallic all the way to 1 and decrease the value, so we make like a darker metal, and the roughness, just leave it as it is. I think that is fine. You can do something like this, but this looks weird and doesn't look like the first videos, for example, or the Cypher's video, for example. So just select 0.5 for the roughness, and that's fine. The next thing that you want to do is, for example, when you like a certain type of clothing but you don't like the color, you can go here to the shader editor, press Shift A, hue, saturation and value, and connect this right here. Connect this to the hue and decrease the factor to 0, and then change the color to red and decrease the value to somewhere right here, and I think this is roughly the color that we want. And we can do the same for the shoes right here, so press Shift A, saturation and value, connect this right here, lower the factor, connect this to the hue and make this red and decrease the value a lot, and yeah, we get something like this. So everything is red right now. We solved the materials right here. So now we want to import the Leonard guy right here, and press GX and move it roughly right here. And the first thing that you want to do is go here to the timeline, make sure select the bones, make sure you are in the first keyframe, press A and delete all the keyframes. So now you can post this character the way you want. I'm not going to do that because you already got the point. But yeah, now I'm going to change all the materials. For example, I'm going to delete the materials for the skin and the hair, and all of these materials for the clothing I'm going to reduce the metallic, and I'm also going to go to the shader editor and unplug the roughness, so this doesn't look like super shiny. So leave it as 1.6, I think it's fine. It looks better now. So if you want to change the color, for example, of this sweater, what you want to do is first of all make a copy, because all this clothing has like the same material. So just select this and make a copy. So now all the changes I make are going to be made only on this sweater. So I'm going to do the same as I did before. I'm going to add a hue and saturation value here. Go to the hue, decrease the factor, and make this blue. But I actually want like a super saturated blue. So yeah, let's see, something like this for the thumbnail. I think it's fine, but if you are going to make this like realistic, I will put this roughly right here, and this looks a little bit like a more realistic blue. But yeah, I'm going to use this for a thumbnail. So yeah, let's do this. And then here on the skin, we are going to add a modifier. Here, add modifier, type decimate and choose here the decimate. And here decrease the radio to something like 0.3, I guess. And press right click here and shade flat. And you can actually see all the geometry. So maybe decrease this a little bit more. Not a lot. Yeah, something like this. 0.15 maybe. And yeah, you have this effect. and it looks great. I'm going to delete the eyelashes, I don't need them right now. And yeah, I'm going to apply the same effect to the hair. So go here to add modifier, decimate, and decrease this. I'm going to shade flat right here, and something like this will work, like something like 0.6, it's fine. And yeah, we have this effect. So if you want to animate this character, that you can actually do that, but for that you will have to apply the effects, because if you animate it with this effect not applied, the character will glitch a lot. So yeah, go here and apply, and also go here and apply. And also, if you want to use motion blur while you animate this character, I think that you can't, or at least I tried once and it didn't work, so I had to work without motion blur and applying the effects for this to work. So now we have this second character, and now we want to work on the last character, so import the paladin. So I actually imported this paladin with an animation, not with the FBX, just for the thumbnail, and you don't have to do that. But yeah, you want to go here and see roughly the pose that you want this character to stay, and press A and delete all the keyframes, and now it will stay like this for the whole video. And here you just want to mess with the materials, so go here to the material and delete all the materials. Actually, press new, and I'm going to name this yellow. The base color would be like this color. I'm going to increase the roughness to decrease, to 0.3, and this already looks like an Imperial video, but I like to give it like an extra touch by adding transmission. So you want to add this transmission right here, and it will look like yellow. So maybe you want to decrease this to 0.8, and you have this. It will look better in the render view, but yeah, you want to apply this material, the same material, the yellow material, to the head, and you will have something like this. And maybe you can also add some soft surface scattering. So just leave it as random walk and increase the weight a lot. And that's it. Now I'm going to add a camera. I'm going to press Ctrl Alt 0 and then 0 again. And then I'm going to add another panel here. I'm going to press 0 in my numpad here. I'm going to go to the camera's data properties, and I'm going to select like a 35mm. I think that's what I used for the thumbnail. And here in the viewport display, you want to increase the passport to something like this, and then go to the object properties, and in the Y rotation put 0, and in the Z rotation just put 0 also, and in the X rotation 90. Okay. So now here in this view, I'm going to modify the camera position, and here I want to select this icon right here, just so everything looks better right here. And yeah, let's press GZ and GY, GZ, GX, and yeah, we will have this, so GX, and we want this, GZ twice. And yeah, this is roughly what I want. So I'm going to enable the render view in this camera, and remember, I'm in cycles, so if you see that everything is a little bit messed up, it's because I don't have a strong enough graphics card, but I will solve that in the future maybe. So press Shift A and add a point light, GZ here up, and GY somewhere right here, and now increase the power a lot, like 100 maybe. 100 is fine, maybe 200, it's fine. So GZ, I want like a rim lighting that makes like these borders of the character, so it has like a shape. And then yeah, just press 7 on your numpad, Shift D, and I'm going to put this light roughly right here. I think it's fine. GZ, And yeah, I think this is fine. So I'm going to increase the radius to 2, maybe 1, maybe 1.5, and increase the power to 250. Yeah, this is fine. So press 7 again, Shift D, and then right here. And this light, you want to make it less powerful, so 10 maybe. So this is like a fill light, maybe 70 watts. And yeah, this lighting is great. GZ, I think I want this right here. So yeah, this is the basic lighting. And yeah, now basically what you want to do is select all the lights with shift click, and then lastly select the camera and press Ctrl P and object. So now the magic is that you can move the camera and the lighting is going to be consistent for all the models. So I'm going to let this render a little bit, and yeah, you have this. So for this guy, I'm actually going to give it a material just because it is super shiny here. So just a basic material, but I'm going to lower the value a lot. So it is still white, but it is not as shiny. So I'm going to copy the hex value here. Sorry, I'm just going to name the material. So white decimate, and I'm going to give this this material to the hair, white decimate, and yeah, now it's much better. It doesn't look as shiny. So then we go GX, and now you can see the full effect here. You can see the yellow effect. And maybe I want like a more saturated yellow, like this, and this will look better. So yeah, that's basically it. If you want to make something similar to the thumbnail that I made before, just a still image, you have to render, and I'm going to show you. So yeah, for example, I have this image, and now I can go here to image, save as, or just save, and you can save this image to whatever folder you like. So that's basically the end of the tutorial. This is the final result, and if you like this video, you will probably like this one. Consider subscribing, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.